Hi friends, my name's Tristan. On this channel I like to do all sorts of things. I do photography things, art things, bookish things, etc. Today it is a new month, so it's time to talk about a book wrap up again. I'm going to talk about the books I read in February. It's not as many as I would have liked it to be, but I did kind of fall into a bit of a reading slump after reading a book that was really hyped up, and I actually did not like it at all. So tune in to find out what book I did not like, even though it's something that everyone else seems to be liking a lot. But first, I did want to try this cute little drink that I got at the Asian grocery store near me. The Sumiko Garashi, I'm a huge fan of. They're such cute little things. I have a couple plushes of them. We have this lizard boy right here that his name is George. He's gotten flattened from all the cuddling. But, yeah, I thought it was super cute. It is a sparkling water that's peach flavored. So let's try it. Oh my gosh, that is delicious. It's so good. Yeah, that's good. It's definitely really sweet, so if you are someone who likes your sparkling water not so sweet, maybe skip this, but it tastes like juice, and I will be purchasing this more often because one, it's the cutest thing I've ever seen, and two, it is so yummy. So not sponsored, but I just wanted to share how cute it was. Alright, into the books that I read in February. So, if you watched my January wrap up, you know that I was working on two books that I was going to talk about in February if I finished them. One was Human Tenderloin by Craig Walwork, and I'll get to that in a minute. And then the other was Come As You Are by Emily Nagoski, which is a nonfiction book about sex life and personal love of your body and knowledge and whatnot. I ended up not finishing that one. I do think it would be good to learn more from it, and I would like to try it again. I had it from the library, and it was a 17-hour long audiobook, and I just couldn't really get into it enough to finish it within the time that was allotted to me. Another book I started in January towards the end of the month and finished in February. I think I finished it at the very beginning, maybe the first or second day of February, was Human Tenderloin by Craig Walwork. It was a collection of short horror stories, so some of them were a little creepy. If you are someone who likes short stories and you are someone who likes horror things, I definitely would recommend. It was a fun read. I might be biased because I still haven't decided if I'm someone who loves short stories collections yet. I just kind of feel like I am someone who likes a story to keep going and keep going, whereas a short story kind of takes you through the whole thing and then you move on. My favorite was definitely, I think it was called Mother's Day. I do think throughout the whole book, it got better and better as the stories went along. The second book I finished in February was so good. Let me tell you, let me put you on a little bit. It was called A Knife in the Fog by Bradley Harper, and I got this book from Bradley himself in order to review it. And he is the sweetest old man in the whole world, and he loves his wife so much, and I think that's so cute. But the book is like true crime meets historical fiction meets Sherlock Holmes. Do you know in movies when the grandpa sits down and he's like, let me tell you a story, and then it like kind of fades into the story he's telling? That's how it felt reading this book. It's told in a way that the narrator is Arthur Conan Doyle, who is the author of Sherlock Holmes. So if you know anything about that, you know that this book was very intriguing. Conan Doyle is called to London to work on the Jack the Ripper case. So it's almost like seeing Sherlock Holmes working on a true crime case, and if you think you know how it ends, no you don't. I would recommend reading this book. It was super good. Even if you aren't a historical fiction person, I would say it's a good book for you even then. So don't knock it till you try it. It's definitely 5 stars. Go check it out. So far, the first 2 books I finished in February have been really good books, and it's still uphill from here. The next one I read was The Woman in the Window by A.J. Finn. I actually have an advanced reader's copy that is signed, which I think is super awesome. But this story is told from a woman who has agoraphobia, so she hasn't left her house in, I think, almost a year. And she kind of spies on her neighbors and looks through the windows, and some crazy stuff happens, but as you're reading it, you don't know what's really happening, what is her anxiety, what is her drinking too much maybe, etc. So you don't know if you can actually trust this narrator or not, which makes you want to keep reading to find out the truth. I gave this one 5 stars as well. It was super good. So as you can tell, all 3 of those books that I read in February, I really was liking them, and then this next book happened. I'm a fan of romance, so that's not it, but this book I did not like. It has been highly recommended, so I read it. I had it on hold at the library for over 20 weeks. I was waiting so long to read this. I was expecting to love it so much. And then when I read it, it was a flop. So I am playing The Hating Game with The Hating Game by Sally Thorne. I get the whole, like, enemies to lovers or whatever, but there wasn't enough lovers for me. There wasn't enough, like, side story as well. The main character, Lucy, she grew up on a strawberry farm, so I was really looking forward to learning more about that, or even Joshua, his backstory. Like, they dip into these people's life stories and then just ignore it for the rest of the book. We just know that they hate each other, but actually they don't hate each other, which obviously I'm pretty sure the book starts off with hating someone feels a lot like loving them, and I'm like, okay. It put me into a reading slump. Like, that's how much I didn't like it. And I think if you go on Goodreads and look at people who have rated it 1 and 2 stars, I feel pretty similar to how they feel. So yeah, but those were the books I finished in February, which, I mean, 4 books a month isn't that bad. I still am proud of myself. I did start reading the House of Night series again. It was a series I liked when I was in middle school, and since I was in the reading slump after reading The Hating Game, I figured I would do a reread of something I knew I liked previously. So I read Marked, and I actually did finish it, but I finished it technically in March. But I guess I could include it in this video because I have finished it. I didn't love it as much as I did in middle school, but I still liked it a lot, and I still plan to continue reading the series. I do want to mention, though, that they did say some slurs, including the R word in the book, and that is not cool. Like, I did not like that. I know, like, there a different time when, like, it was okay to say that, but, like, it's never been okay to me, and I think it's just tacky and annoying that they would put things like that in a book. That being said, it kept me going through because there were so many things happening with Zoe Redbird, who turns into a fledgling, which is the first step from human to vampire, and she's like moving through the process to vampire a lot faster than she should be, so that makes you intrigued to see what's happening next. But that's my wrap up for February, plus like 1 day of March. But let me know if you read The Hating Game and if you loved it or hated it or felt indifferent towards it, because I'm really intrigued to see if other people didn't like it. It just wasn't it for me, except I was really expecting to love it, so I'm a little disappointed. If you have any book recommendations, make sure to let me know, and thanks for watching. If you want to hit the like button, be sure to do that. If you don't want to do that, no pressure. If you want to subscribe for more content, including photography stuff, art stuff, and book stuff, and maybe some just vlogs or whatever. Just like whatever you want to talk about, I probably am talking about it at some point. I do promise there is another photography video in the works. I hope you're taking care of yourself. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you are reading some good books. And I'll see you in the next one. Later, skater. Bye-bye.